We have finally reached the part three of the three-part series about mastering the AI technician. A short recap about the previous two sessions. So, in the session one, we covered most of the, let's say, chatbot style capabilities of our AI products, which is apparently not that advanced, however, gives a lot of meaningful responses and is able to respond to many IT issues that are coming your way. And we covered all the context related aspects, which we will get back to in a second. On the second session, we uncovered the agentic capabilities, uh, which all live in the realm of us having an Atera agent installed on the endpoints. And with that being said, we're able to execute actual actions, not only give advice using the AI model. Okay, what we're going to be covering today, and who am I for the ones who joined us for the very first time. My name is Dima. I'm the technical product marketing manager here at Atera. I used to be working in professional services, and I used to be doing the Atera implementation for our new customers and re-onboarding the existing ones. Now I'm covering the product marketing part from the technical perspective, and today I will be doing the demonstration and walkthrough for you. Okay, I already mentioned everything that we are inviting you to do, which is submit your questions in the Q&A section. Anything that is immediate and you want everybody to know, please drop it in the chat. If we have any links that are worth sharing, we'll drop them in the chat section too. And you are more than welcome to request a demo. Push the button on the webinar if you're interested in one of the things that I'm about to show, and our account management team and pre-sales team will be more than happy to do so, and professional services too. Okay. Introduction we did. Let's talk about IT Autopilot, refresh our memory. So Atera has two AI products in its offering. One of them is AI Copilot, which is which is aiming to augment the IT technician performance. Basically, it's all about diagnostics, health checks, ticketing summary, ticket responses, everything and anything you might face as an IT technician in your day-to-day job at scale. And it basically helps you to do your job and saves you time, even by simply actually saving you time typing the messages in the system. IT Autopilot is something that is dedicated to the end users, and this is something that acts as a tier one technician before it reaches the actual tier one technician who is a human. What do I mean by that? So everything that you find useful as your company knowledge can be used as a context to both of those tools. So both your end users and your IT technician can get access to company specific knowledge, and you get meaningful responses almost right out of the box. As soon as they're in the system, you can get access to it. It doesn't end up there. Those products we covered briefly on the previous sessions. I won't go into the basics of both of those products. I want to talk about two new features that we recently released. Both of which are super exciting to me personally. I was waiting for them for a couple of quarters while they were in the development, and I've seen both of those were super highly anticipated in the industry. Let's unpack the first one. The first one is called the MCP integration. What does the MCP stand for? It's the Model Context Protocol. Uh, in simple words, it's a secure way to access your specific tool with data stored in this external tool to not only retrieve information or put the information there, but also execute certain actions. Let's imagine a simple conversation which has started with IT Autopilot and users started this chat, which is super simple, and it's the usual interaction. It can be started using the email, it can be started using the portal, it can be started using the Slack and Teams as of today. might be a subject to change though. The new component in the chain before the user gets response, also one extra element comes into play, which is the MCP server. So the MCP server checks if any relevant tool with relevant knowledge is connected to your environment and has something to offer user rather than just giving general consultancy. And by external tools, I mean um, a long list of tools available out there. Many SaaS products do support MCP integrations right now. I listed a few. If you don't know the logos, those are the Notion, Monday.com, Asana, Atlassian Confluence, and many more. So if you're if you're interested in the current state of play, in which companies are investing um, in MCP server integration, and some of them um, already offering public MCP servers, please be my guest. I just submitted the link to the website to the chat. It's mcpservers.org. This is public knowledge about all the available MCP integrations. Please check out the official tab on this website, which will give you an understanding which companies offer out-of-the-box official MCP servers. Some of the companies, like Microsoft and Google, require a little bit of extra configuration, and some of the solutions also request to host the MCP server on your side rather than on theirs. However, today we're going to be seeing how the Notion MCP server works as an example, so you can get an understanding how, in general, beneficial the MCP integration is. Okay. Next, the second new feature that we're going to be seeing today, and the reason why I'm not starting the demonstration still is because I'm going to be showing at the beginning just one component, then the second component, and then I will be also showing the blend. The reason why we released both of those features at the very same time, because they have something to do with one another. Let's imagine that you also have a third-party tool that supports the old but gold REST API. All those classic get put post commands that you perfectly know and already probably already using within Atera, and more exciting things in the API domain are coming, by the way, this year. So basically, you can, if you can create a specific action that can be executed for a third-party tool, and you can retrieve certain bits and pieces of information. In certain cases, the information retrieved can be transformed into something meaningful using the MCP integration, because MCP is not just a conversational, let's say, add-on and enhancement. It's also actionable enhancement. So it adds to the agentic nature of the IT Autopilot. So let's go to the demo. So let me first demonstrate where it all lives. So if you go to the AI Center, you will find the MCP integration tab, and right below you will find the Cloud Actions tab. As you can see right now, to my tenant, I have two solutions integrated. I have Notion and I have Monday. Monday is something that I have just for Copilot. I will be demonstrating just the Notion. The process is super simple. We are now offering, let's say, the most developed ones out of the box as just you click on install. And as you can see, it already offers the public server link. It has a description, and you can choose for which of the for which of the AI assistants you want to allow it to work. But also, if it's not listed and you can spend some time studying the MCP integration subject, all you need to do is to configure the MCP server on your side. There are multiple guides out there on the web. For instance, like for SharePoint, it takes around 5 to 7 minutes to configure. It's relatively simple, but then you paste your server URL and it's basically ready to go. Then you then you connect it from the admin perspective that Notion integration is authorized, and then it goes to the part two, which is the end user authorization, because MCP integration, the same way as IT Autopilot respects the rights and permissions of a given user, MCP integration does exactly the same. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Bear with me, please. The next one is cloud actions. I have a couple of not so meaningful ones and one meaningful cloud action. So I looked for public APIs available out there, and apparently one of the first ones that I got was, fun fact, one of the, not one, but the most expensive intellectual property on planet Earth is the Pokemon franchise. So I decided to give you a context as like a library of knowledge, which is everything that they exposed as a company, and you can retrieve and you can use it as an example of which type of data you can retrieve and what you can do with it. And I have several actions here, so I can just get a list of those wonderful creatures, and I can also get some details on them, and maybe in a second I'll show you what I can do with all this wonderful data. Okay, so this is the MCP integrations and cloud actions. So cloud actions are not limited to what I just said. You can also create a new cloud action yourself. The UI is relatively simple, and you can just add a name, description, give it a name, set it to active, enable it just for Copilot, or enable it for both IT Copilot and AI Copilot and IT Autopilot. Choose which type of request you're doing, and if you're API savvy, you can easily do it, and you have the ability to run a sandbox test here. If you are not entirely sure how to create a REST API call, you can generate it with Copilot. It comes alongside with it. It's relatively simple. You just prompt everything. You give the API key here, and also for the AI's like awareness, you also give a link to the documentation for this specific solution. It can be anything that supports API calls. And right after you finish, so for instance, like I did like the openweathermap.org, and as you can see, I created this entirely with Autopilot, and I requested to retrieve the information about the weather at a given moment of time. So not much to fill. As you can see, everything here is almost automatically populated. You have the keys, you have the description, and so Matthias, I saw your comment. You can actually zoom in at the bottom right of the screen share area. You can click on a magnification and let me know if it helps. I can also zoom in a bit and let me know if it helps, maybe even to this extent. Let me know if it helped. Yes, no, not so much. Okay, amazing, Jeff. Thank you so much. Okay, on to the next one. So, so this is how you configure the cloud action. You enable it, and you can run a test action. And now let's see how it actually works. In the background, I also have a Notion workspace, which is like you can even get it with a free license, but we'll get to this in a second. Let's see how it all works. And to do this, I will have to use a new Google Chrome feature. If you missed what it does, it basically allows you to run two tabs inside one tab, which is super convenient, especially in my use case when I'm demonstrating two solutions at the very same time. Okay, and let's add an extra component. So we'll be looking at three things. So we'll be looking at the MCP integration. So we have the Notion integration ready to go. We have the Notion workspace where we'll be looking at very attentively, especially in the private area. And also, we are introducing the third part of the equation. It's the end user's experience. This is a real laptop that is used for lab testing in our company. And I'm logged in as Michael Scott from probably a relatively famous TV series. Okay, so let's start with a simple thing. Um, do we have a connection to Notion? So it's a super simple question. And yeah, we do have an integration with Notion, so I can um, interact with it, says the AI. Okay, let me ask something that is super Notion specific. What type of Notion blocks exist out there? So this is where the knowledge that comes from the MCP integration from the Notion KB articles comes into play. And as you can already see that basic text and structure, you can see a list of available fields. You can see available media types. You can see available like tables and boards. And you can see a relatively long response. Okay, now let's test the second component. Let's move it to the side for a second and let's see the cloud to the database to learn everything about wonderful creatures from Japan. So do we let's do something else. IT told me you know a lot about Pokemon. Oops, Pokemon. Let's see. Yeah, and as you can see, then they weren't wrong. I've got access to live Pokédex style data. Let's say that I want to list Pokemons 1 to 25 in a bulleted list. Now it's you can see it's thinking, and then it will switch to the integration request. It happened relatively fast, and as you can see, it gives you the bulleted list from the specific public API from the public knowledge, and you can see that we have many familiar names to anyone who is the same age as me. So you know the classic ones, and you know that Pikachu is number 25, so the most famous one probably. Okay, I want to learn more. And now let me demonstrate what else can you retrieve? Because I used one of the cloud actions. So what do I mean by that? It was just list of what is like what Pokemons are available in a database. I will learn more about Pokemon number 1. Let's see if it understands the context. It searched for actions. Takes a little bit of time to think. And as soon as it's find a relevant action, which is get Pokemon details by name or ID. I didn't give a name intentionally. Let's give it some time. And right after the action is done, okay, then Pokemon number 1 is Bulbasaur. Let's cross-check against the previous answer. So you see that it is context aware. I know you have more data. Please do better. And I will also appreciate an image of this Pokemon. I forgot how it looks. So as you already can see, this conversation starts to be super detailed, but those all can be IT and non-IT related requests. And this is something that elevates how IT Autopilot can be used. So meaning that you can connect your external resources to IT Autopilot and forget about all the extra subscriptions because you have access to all of them using the MCP integration. It's context aware, updated in real time, and you can get information. Okay, now we clearly see our wonderful friend. It's Bulbasaur. It gave us super detailed Pokemon card, and love it. Now, please, oops, sorry, I was typing in the wrong window. Love it. Please create a Notion page with an easy to read layout. Let's see how the blend of the MCP integration and the Cloud Action starts to work together. Please pay attention to the private area. So it takes about maybe 30 seconds or so. And as you can see, like a clean info page in Notion, now with sections and the image included. And we are now processing the integration request. And this is exactly where the MCP integration comes into play. It takes a little bit extra time. And with and I have not been using Notion for quite some time. I'm not that versed in Notion as a tool. However, now I have access to all the Notion knowledge. And there you have it. Now we have a Notion page with 0 Notion skills created with an image placed at the top of the article with like a quick fact section and the drop down the bulleted lists. And now we can do this. We can even elevate this. I want to move the image to the bottom. Oops, sorry, made a typo. Bottom of the article. Also, MCP integrations are super useful when it comes to iterations. When you're doing any type of processes. So as you can see, now it got back to processing the integration request. And by the way, right after it created the Pokédex entry article, you can open it in the secondary tab. You can immediately see that both on my machine and on the end user's laptop, it automatically updated the article to the way you like it. Let's bring it back to a use case that is more, let's say, IT related. And let's say you have a new employee onboarding, which is in progress. And let's pretend you have the access for the new employee onboarding. You can definitely start, or even let's do a new chat for a clean experiment. So for instance, you have an existing new employee onboarding checklist. And I want you to check for the new employee checklist in Notion and check. Oops, sorry, I was not typing. I want you to check the new employee checklist in Notion and check all the boxes in the core software access. So it will respect your level of rights. So you cannot do anything to the documents that you don't have access to. However, as you can see, it's now processing the request. It knows I have access to this specific document. And now it will process the request, and we should wait about 20, 30 seconds for the request to be processed. And right after it's done, you will see immediately on the screen that it's being performed, which proves the point. Okay, so it's being completed. But let's take it even one step further. We're all IT people, and all we do is doing different types of projects, and maybe we want to teach someone how to make one. Let's imagine an employee requested a training for a specific tool, which is dedicated to project management, and they want to create something that they don't know how to create, and they don't know where to get knowledge from. Well, entering IT Autopilot with an MCP integration. Now let's take a look at this prompt. I will read it out loud so you can understand. I want to create a draft that will allow to do an internal project with several stakeholders. I'm intentionally making spelling mistakes and punctuation mistakes because I want to make sure it does, it does take this into consideration, but still does the job. We need space for meeting notes, easily added as many times as we like for each meeting. Stakeholders list with names, titles, and emails. Asset selection, in brackets, relevant doc links, attachment, etc. We need the per person task section with the task name, how urgent each step is, dependencies, if any, needed by date. Per person section should be a spreadsheet format with dropdowns. Feel free to create dropdown values according to the best project management practices. Please also add relevant filter values where applicable. Use Kanban best practices to define the values. Filter values should come color-coded for each and every relevant column on each page. I will copy the entire prompt because it will take too much time to type it in. And I will just hit enter while starting a new chat. And I have, as I said, I have zero skills in Notion in 2026. So let's just give it some time and see what it can do. And maybe, let's say right now, there's a use case for any person to become a project manager. Before creating something, as you can see, now you are seeing an unusually long response structure. So our AI assistant just gave us an answer how it will your project structure be mapped. So it will give it gives us the stakeholders list, like suggestion, also color coding, roles and responsibilities, assets, and etc. etc. Everything that we requested. And I type in love it. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Go ahead and create it in Notion the way you proposed. Let's now go back to our Notion workspace and let's see, let's set our eyes on the private area. It should take some time, but it should be relatively fast. So it's still processing the integration request because the job is not a one-step action. And as you can see, it's going through the thought process, and the result should be the response and also the link to the ready to go project page. And as you can see, even before responding, it already did the change in Notion, but now it will proceed with the response for the end user that it's been completed. And now you can go ahead and use it. And we will check out in a second how it's done. Okay, integration request completed successfully. And for the end user's convenience, so you can open it here. And yeah, it's super cool. Okay, let's open it in Notion and let's see how our wonderful AI did. So in assets and resources, it created a pre-populated spreadsheets with categories and also color-coded filter values and status also color-coded. And as you can see, we now have a ready-to-go draft depending on what we're trying to do. And as you can see, typical departments, I didn't even mention them. So everything here is listed as the product of the AI's creation, and you can, with iterations, elevate it one step further. So let's say I like the project page, however, it's missing the guidelines, and I need to make it easy to understand for my colleagues who are not tech savvy. So to prove once again that it can do iteration, so we go back to the homepage of this specific project. Let me zoom out because it looks better this way. Let's give the IT Autopilot some time to work on. Yes, please go ahead and refactor project page. So now I requested that I needed to do, okay, please implement the changes in Notion on the project page. So now you need to be super concrete about your request. Now it started the integration request, and you're about to see the changes that it's bringing in to the table. And this actually applies to many solutions out there. And as I said, you're more than welcome to visit the mcpservers.org to see the most up-to-date list of all the software logos that are investing their time and effort into creating such things for you. But if you're ready to invest in IT Autopilot, you are like one step away from starting to benefit from this type of technology. And by the way, while I was talking, IT Autopilot just finished doing what it was supposed to. So it's basically, it gives us a super detailed description, and it's ready to go, and it supports iteration, and we can do whatever we want, and we can even study a specific subject, study specific software. We now have access to entire knowledge of the specific one as soon as we give it access to. Okay, so that will probably conclude today's demonstration. And just a final food for thought, like what makes IT Autopilot unique. So we are pioneering the natively AI agent for autonomous IT. We aim to cut as many tier 1 tickets as we possibly can, up to 80%. And definitely we aim to give you time and space to do your actual job, not responding to the support tickets. And this is something that we take super seriously, and we complement our most recent advancements in the core product with our advancements in AI. And we are welcoming you to support us in pioneering this innovation and be our AI pioneers. Time for the Q&A. So let me probably stop sharing, and I'll take a look at the Q&A section. So Jeff asked me a question. We want to integrate with a product called MSP process. This is used for end user authentication, currently integrates to other platforms directly to the ticket. Will this MCP integration work with MSP process? So this is something we need to figure out case by case. If the full end-to-end MCP integration is not supported, you still, and this specific solution supports REST API, and it follows the up-to-date API methodologies. So yeah, the short answer is yes. A little bit a more extensive answer is that we need to help you configure this, but we do have professional services to help you out. And yeah, so definitely certain cloud actions will be supported as far as their side supports this specific action. I hope this responds to your question. Can we hire someone at Atera to assist us to optimize our subscription? Things like the MCP integrations, automation, workflows, and autopilot, etc. So we have the professional services department, which consists of several parts. Part number one is onboarding managers who do the basic protocol walkthroughs and onboarding for the new customers for the most part. The second component is the solutions engineers. Part of the team I used to be, and we were involved in the complex integrations, implementation processes, in re-onboarding existing customers if they requested. For instance, like you're with us for several years, and we have had so many features that you lost track, and you want to be retrained on the product. Maybe you had so many new people on the team. We are offering this. Please reach out to your customer success manager. If you don't have one, reach out to support. They will let you know who can you get in touch with. And everything that is tech related, start with chat with support. They will direct you to the right person. And if you want to do this right away, you can click on the request a demo. And if you're an existing customer, we will definitely route it to the right person, so you can have a meaningful conversation. I hope that's response to your question. So, Xavier, I hope I pronounced your name correct. Is there an Microsoft Teams integration or plans for that? Right now, IT Autopilot supports the Slack and Teams integration, giving you an extra 2 channels of communication with AI on top of the portal, which is the native experience. Emails, not so native experience, which is a little bit more cumbersome because you don't have a typical chat window. You're chatting through emails. But Slack and Teams integrations for IT Autopilot are already available, so your employees can submit the tickets through those 2 channels. And if you're an MSP, for instance, and you're supporting multiple instances of Slack, Teams, and you want to do per customer approach, and you want to bring in several Slack or Teams domains, we recently released MSP enhancements for MSPs for IT Autopilot, and we now support the per customer, like more extensively support per customer knowledge base articles, per customer software bundles, per customer custom instructions, per customer Slack or team settings, and IDP providers for per customer. So we support Entra ID for cloud actions on Entra. We also support Okta and Google Workspace. I hope this addresses your question. Let me know if I missed anything. Any extra questions before we wrap up to our final, but the pleasant part? So if you like what you see, if you liked what you saw, be our guest on G2, book a demo, leave a review, reach out to us to help you out to understand our product better. We just did a webinar on everything we did so far in 2025. We have so many exciting things for a plan for 2026, some of which are already exposed on the Terra.com/roadmap. And I invite you to be my guest to check it out. We released several things like multi-domain, outgoing emails. We introduced the attachment previews for tickets. We introduced the approval flows with notes. We introduced the new ticket UI page, and many more exciting features to come, including the new API key management, which will enhance the security aspect of it and will add additional settings. We are enhancing the security experience for the platform in general, and also you can expect a lot of facelifting for existing pages inside the product and many more features, which unfortunately I cannot talk much about, at least today on January 13th. Yeah. So if you have any final question, please feel free to submit this. If not, thank you so much for attending this series. Please be our guest on our community Reddit thread and wherever your heart desires, and be our guest at User Voice. I'm monitoring this personally, and I'm addressing your ideas directly with the product team. And we are also going through a process that will enhance the flow in between the teams internally so we can deliver a better product in all domains that we cover. On this wonderful note, thank you so much, guys, for your time. Uh, it was a wonderful series. You can check the previous 2 episodes on our YouTube channel and see you, as always, on the next one. Thank you so much. Bye bye.